This shit is getting too easy now. It's getting too easy. LeBron fans, like his fanboys. When I say LeBron fans, look, it doesn't. If you're a fan of this guy's game, okay, because he is a great player. Now, this is something that I think some people are getting misconstrued. Like, I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not a hater. Like some people calling me a LeBron James hater. A hater would say shit like, "Man, LeBron not even a top 50 player." Um, LeBron, he sucks. You know what I'm saying? He trash. You know what I'm saying? No, he's a great player. I'm just no longer convinced that he's even top 10. You know what I'm saying? Don't come with me about the points, because Dirk has over 31,000 points, and he's not top 10. Matter of fact, I don't even have Dirk in my top 20. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like 21, 22, or something like that in my list. So yeah, I no longer have that guy in my top 10, man, LeBron. But anyway, this dude shows you once again what he's all about. Himself, his numbers. Me, I. This isn't something that I'm just noticing. I've noticed this about LeBron all the way back into his first stint with the Cavaliers. And I would read his interviews, and I was amazed at the number of times I was used when he was talking. And here he is after a loss to the Grizzlies, where he missed 15 out of 23 shots. But the media is going to praise his triple doubles, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to Westbrook. If you've been watching Westbrook lately, he's actually been improving offensively. He's had 3 consecutive 40-point games, but the media don't mention that. They'll show a clip of him missing a three. That's why I don't like the media, because they have an agenda. If you The media likes to create a narrative for each player, and they will stick with that narrative as much as possible. Okay? But back to LeBron. LeBron is a narcissist who is all about his numbers. This guy once had a shirt, you know, this guy was once photographed wearing a shirt saying, "Check my stats." This guy is bragging about becoming the first player to be top 10 in points and assists, right? So I checked it, and he moved past Andre Miller. Now, this is what's kind of interesting about that list, too, man. See if I can pull it up. Here we go. Now, you tell me about this list, right? You tell me. You guys give me your opinion. John Stockton, point guard. Jason Kidd, point guard. Steve Nash, point guard. Mark Jackson, point guard. Magic Johnson, point guard. Oscar Robertson, point, sometimes shooting guard, but he's generally considered a point guard. Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, point guard. Chris Paul, point guard. Gary Payton, point guard. Andre Miller, point guard. Skip over LeBron for a minute. Ross Strickland, point guard. Maurice Cheeks, point guard. Lenny Wilkins, point guard. Terry Porter, point guard. Tim Hardaway, point guard. Tony Parker, point guard. Bob Cousy, point guard. Guy Rogers, point guard. Deron Williams, point guard. Rajon Rondo, point guard. Muggsy Bogues, point guard. Kevin Johnson, point guard. Russell Westbrook, point guard. Derek Harper, point guard. Tiny Archibald, point guard. Stephen Marbury, point guard. John Lucas, point guard. Reggie Theus, uh, shooting guard / point guard. All right. Norm Nixon, point guard. You gotta go all the way to Kobe Bean Bryant to find a guy who wasn't a point guard. He's 31st all time in assists. So what does this shows to me? Even though people are going to say, well, it just shows how phenomenal LeBron James is as a basketball player, blah, 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 blah. What this kind of shows to me is how LeBron James pads his numbers. There's not another small forward on this list until you get to Scottie Pippen, who's 33rd. And don't come to me about, well, LeBron's never played with a great point guard. Neither did Scottie Pippen. But it's just amazing to me how this guy only gives a fuck about his statistics, man. I'm telling you, this is what I think he's going to do from here on out. I think he's going to go into, well, playoff mode has been deactivated. Now he's going to activate his, he's going to activate his, he's going to activate his pad numbers and blame others mode. You know what I'm saying? He's going to start playing for triple doubles, or empty scoring numbers, empty scoring stats, and he's going to blame his teammates after every game for why they lost. And then people wonder why I call him a cancer the other day. That's what he is, man. And he needs to be excised from the Lakers, man, because it's not going to work. I'm just of a different generation, man. Could you imagine if Instagram was around 30 years ago and Michael Jordan got on Instagram after he had a 63-point game against Boston, and he goes around saying, uh, you know, praise to the Almighty for me dropping that 63 points. It was a playoff record. I mean, it's a remarkable accomplishment. You work hard. Do you think Michael Jordan give a fuck about the fact that he scored 63 points? Or do you think he care about the fact that they lost the fucking game? I remember a lots of times Kobe might drop 40 points, 45, 50 points, and they would lose. And Kobe would say something like, the media might ask him, how do you feel about you scoring 51 points tonight? Like, Kobe might say something like, who cares? We lost. Larry Bird, he might have a game. He might have dropped 41, had 11 assists, 18 rebounds, strong triple double. But if they lost to the Sixers in the regular season, or they lost in a playoff game, whatever, Bird will be out there like, I don't give a damn about my numbers. We lost. Who cares? I'd rather score 2 points and win. He's not built like that, man. And like Ticker said, you tell your teammates to stay off Instagram or off social media, and here you are posting about a meaningless statistical achievement. which I think is really, like I said earlier, just a result of you padding your numbers. But we're all seeing now the limitations to LeBron James's game, man. This ain't the Eastern Conference, man. This is not the Eastern Conference. You got to bring it 110% every game. This is why I've always been a big defender of people like Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, when people call them losers because they didn't win championships. Well, with Reggie and Patrick, they didn't win championships because of one man. Because if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, that 98 Pacers team would have went to the finals. And they could have beaten the Jazz. I actually think that team could have beaten the Jazz. Charles Barkley and Karl Malone, they was in the Wild Wild West in the 90s when the Western Conference was deep. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing a video talking about why Karl Malone, but the Utah Jazz might have had the hardest schedule consistently in the playoffs. Like if you think about it. Every year that the Jazz went to the playoffs, right, in the 90s, even the late 80s, they always had generally tough competition to go against. They weren't like playing against, like how the Warriors sometimes luck up and play uh, easy matchups, or they play a team that is going through injuries or whatever, which is a part of the game. But Utah, they used to play some tough teams, man, in the playoffs. And then when they finally did get over the hump and they had that window of opportunity in the late 90s, they played against the Bulls. And Malone and Stockton were starting to get a little old. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the West. This ain't, LeBron, you gotta be a leader, man. You gotta put on, you say you're in playoff mode, play like you did, you know what I'm saying, when you was going up against some garbage ass teams last year in the East. You know, when you was going up against that Cavalier team, that Boston team without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward before, he fucked his, before the injury, and he's been this imposter since. You know, look how you was beating up on that weak ass team or some of them other weak ass teams in the Eastern Conference when you was balling out of your mind, averaging 35 points per game last year in the playoffs or whatever it was you was averaging. You know, play like that now. When you think about it, man, LeBron played some weak ass teams last year in the Eastern Conference. I mean, look at the Eastern Conference Finals. He played against a Boston team without Kyrie Irving. And his fans have the nerve, the gall to say that he went against better competition than Michael Jordan? Shit. Than even Kobe? Man, get out of here, man. All you care about is your numbers, dude. And that's why you probably won't win another championship because all you care about is your numbers. And you can't sacrifice your numbers. You just like Bernie Mac's character from Mr. 3000. You know what I'm saying? You just like him before he, saw the error of his ways. You rather get a hit to pad your stats and ensure you get that 3,000 hit rather than sacrifice fly for the betterment of the team. That's you. Stan Ross, LeBron Ross, pay the cost. Be the boss. Tired of you motherfuckers. That's you, motherfucker. You fucking bum.